Hello, original you. The fresh dew, the fresh beginning is being called forward this week, and it is powerful. I can't even tell you the feeling that I have within for all of us about refreshing the passion that makes us so unique. So this reading is for the week of October 14th of 2018. And there is tremendous energy in Scorpio in our skies right now. And Scorpio, I always describe it as the auger because that's what my sort of guidance points me to. It drills down into the core of you like nothing else. Scorpionic energy wants the truth. It wants integrity. It's tired of the cover-ups. It's tired of cookie cutter. It wants originality. And I very clearly heard it, that this week is about inviting in a new original you. It's super strong. And a part of this, we have Mercury, we have Venus retrograde, and we have Jupiter that are all in Scorpio right now. So everything that you're seeing and processing in your life in terms of your perception of what's coming in, and then how that's interacting with your perceptions within you, and then is coming out in certain ways through how you communicate, or if you choose not to communicate, it's whatever that bounce back is after you've perceived something, and then what goes outward. That's Mercury's energy. Venus retrograde has been happening since October 5th, and she won't go direct till November 16th. And I just have to laugh at all astrologers I seem to listen to who are always, whoa, 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 this is bad, or not bad, but it's so challenging, and you shouldn't take any steps forward when you're in retrograde season. And I'm just like so done with that. I really don't like those messages, because there's nothing in our cosmos that is meant to hurt us or meant to hold us back. There are times of inner introspection, but in this time when Venus is going supposedly backwards, that's really just a visual aspect. It's not actually true in terms of physical direction. However, it is a time of inner introspection, and Venus is simply calling you to say, what do you love? What are you passionate about? What do you care about? What is your core value? And she's in Scorpio, she's slapping you across the face and saying, wake up. What do you believe in? Enough with this shit. What do you believe in? And for God's sakes, take the steps forward. When she's done, November 16th, take the steps forward and do what you love, do what you believe in, invite in beauty, invite in passion. This is no time to hold back. You're in an 11 year. This is when you can start building things. What are you waiting for? That's what I'm hearing from that energy. And like Scorpio is, very direct and very intense. The most intense of all the signs is my reading on Scorpio. And so I'm not, meaning to sound really bitchy in this for this reading. It's more, I just want to get across the incredible intensity at the deepest levels of who you are. And you need to step up and be an original. We need this in our world. It's done. We're done with the cookie cutter. And Jupiter also being in Scorpio, the call is for you to expand as a result of this. Okay? And Jupiter will only be in this amazing resetting time in Scorpio until November 8th is when Jupiter passes into Sagittarius. And let's just say that's forward momentum, baby. And it's double because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So talk about go time. And Sag is all my very favorite sign of all. It is about freedom, and it is about uniqueness, and it's about different visions of your world. And I'm talking about everything from the way you do your dishes to the way you decide to move forward in your career to the setting of new relationships. It's everything. Sag doesn't leave anything out, and it is blunt as all get out. That's what I love about it. There's like no sugarcoating it. It's go time. And this is about bigger vision. It's about new awareness. So the invitation here is just, it's time to get your shit together and get going. Get going. That's what I'm feeling from this, the last of this scorpionic energy with all these big planets in here. You're tuning up with Mercury. Venus retrograde is saying, what do you love? What's beautiful in your life? What are you passionate about? And most of all, what do you believe in? Because it's not that we haven't been living a life where we truly live out what we believe in. But you have to understand the world keeps spinning round, and as we see in all corners of our experiences, whether globally or on an individual level, things keep changing, people keep changing. The experience here on this planet keeps changing. And so you've outgrown what you used to value. You're moving into something more, and that's what Venus is stirring up within you. What do you believe in? What is beautiful to you? And what are you passionate about? Those are the questions she's asking. Okay, so that's why I felt important to be in front of this little tree here, a beginner tree. But look at all this orange. We're so lucky here in New Hampshire experiencing this right now. This is the energy that Venus is bringing up, that orange, passionate, sacral chakra. What do you desire? And you're going to go for it. And that Sag energy that Jupiter will be bringing in November for a whole year. Use it, baby. Use it. So it's just teeing you up for this. The other thing as I was tapping into this, I really was hearing the song You're an Original by Sheryl Crow. It's one of my favorites from her. And I think it's Lenny Kravitz who sings on that with her. Such a great song. I just love the whole way it starts up, and it's so gritty. It's so gritty. And when you really listen to the lyrics, the one phrase that keeps coming forward is, turn around and you're looking at 100 more. This isn't about being part of the 100 more. This is not about being cookie cutter. We are done with those days. This is Age of Aquarius. It's about your uniqueness. It's about humanity. It's about compassion. It's about stepping forward and playing a part. Not everybody's going to agree, but you've got to play your part, and you've got to be passionate about it. So it's about breaking out of that cookie cutter. As much as I love that song, I was like, yeah, turn around and you're looking at 100 more. So many people like getting on the bandwagon, and yep, that's me too. Yep, that's me too. Oh no, you've got more power than that. Venus is calling you to more power, and then Jupiter's going to give you the expansion opportunity to run with it. In Sagittarius, that is horse power, freedom, independence. Think about that wild Mustang just running for a new view, reaching a new plateau. You've outgrown wherever you've been. It's a new day. So this week is calling us to that. And our Sabian symbol is Virgo 9, an expressionist painter at work. And this, again, speaks to originality. This is about you painting your world as you wish it to be. Enough with, oh yeah, that's me too, I'm so wounded. Yep, we've all got that shit in our background. Guess what? We all do. So what are we going to stand around and all be wounded? That's really empowered. It's just going to, if we stay in that place, It's just going to create more woundedness to recognize. We don't make any traction with that. We can all agree that we have a wounded past, whether it's this lifetime or many other past lifetimes. It simply is what it is. So I can hear Venus here in Scorpio, which, as you can tell from the way I'm delivering the message, does not hold back, and it's intense, and it is super blunt. And that's the absolute energy I'm getting for this week with all the Scorpionic energy. It's like, wake up. It's the same feeling I get from Chiron since Chiron moved into Aries. It's a brand new day for Chiron. Chiron spends 50 years working around the zodiac, and we are all lucky enough to be experiencing a new day of Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron doesn't want to be the wounded healer anymore. Chiron wants to be empowered because of what he's been through, and wants that for you too. It's enough of looking in the rearview mirror saying, look at me, I'm so wounded, this is so terrible. Who have you become as a result of that? Enough with that. Wake up and drive forward. Go forward. You don't want to not use the momentum that's going to be offered when Jupiter goes into Sagittarius. If nothing else, Sag is new forward movement based on a whole new mindset. You probably don't even know what that mindset is yet. But this week is really tapping into it. Okay? So super blunt this week, and like the swears are coming out. Like it is what it is. Like enough. Enough. Move forward. What do you want? Not what has happened and woe is me because of that. No, there's too much being offered in this planet. There is choice in what you choose to focus upon. Forward. Expansion. That's why you came. And you're stronger because of those things that have occurred, which is true for all of us. Think about the fact you're born, and whether or not they really do this anymore, I don't know, but there was a time when they slapped that baby on the ass and wah! And what they want to hear when you are first born, the thing they're looking for is that big wailing cry. Then they know the lungs are working. You're awake, you're alive, you're here. And that in itself is traumatic, that entrance into this bright, bright world. But here you are, and so you're moving forward. So the cards this week are going to speak to you're an original. And this is going to give some seed knowledge. Again, this is a general reading. This is seed knowledge for people to know what is that original element within you that is like, that Venus is like slapping you across the face and saying, enough. Forward. What do you love? What are you passionate about? And what do you care about on an integrity level? What do you value? Okay, first card up is from the Angel Tarot. Okay, 8 of Earth comes up. All right, and 8 comes right in numerology. 8 comes right, 7 is the energy of new awareness. And 8 is like refinding the balance again. That is where we're at this week. It is very turbulent when we have this much energy in Scorpio, because it is blunt, it is brutal, and it is stirring up the lowest sediment that has been sedentary for too long. It is purposely stirring that up. That is the value of Scorpio. I say it every year. So the 8 is about finding the balance again. That is core for your message. This says skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic. Going back to school. So you clearly have some kind of an interest that is new to you. However, I'm going to say you're magnetically being drawn to it for a reason. Because things don't pop up in our world that get our attention unless there is something within your blueprint of who you are energetically that is sparking something off within. And your crystal that goes with your message is my piece of labradorite. And this is from my water team, so it's about that intuitive sense. It is tapping into that, and this is known as reflector and definer. So you have to notice, Venus is saying, do you notice what you're being drawn to? Pay attention and go after it. And for some of you, that might mean you're going back to school or taking some kind of a course or a workshop, or you're reading, or you're watching videos. You're doing something to educate yourself. And what I have to keep saying, because remember, Mercury is a part of our reading this week in Scorpio. And this is the play into labradorite, because depending on, let's say for instance that you wanted to become a card reader, for instance, doing intuitive readings. You might you feel this call to start watching all different kinds of card readers. In the process of doing that, you are looking out, you're seeing what you see, and then it comes inside, and then you're reflecting within against the inner wisdom that is within you, that you may not even know is there. Again, we're talking about Scorpio. This is everything that exists behind that big black curtain. This isn't out where everybody can see it, and Scorpio won't have that. It wants to reveal the truth. It wants to get to a deeper wisdom. And so because you're going to be out and learning in whatever way feels right to you, on whatever subject or whatever skill, topic area, do the learning and understand you're an original, baby. You don't want to be part of turn around and you're looking at 100 more. The topic of this reading is you're an original. You are going to go out and you're going to learn by soaking up whatever you can in whatever venues there are. Sometimes this is through conversations with people. Sometimes it's not a formal learning experience. But what's being called upon is you taking that knowledge in, reflecting upon it for yourself, and then you further define what your perspective is on it. Another example is energy work. You might take Reiki. Then you reflect on it, maybe you start using it a little bit. Notice what wisdom comes up within you where you can take it and make it your own. Guess what? It's okay. I honor Reiki, I honor the principles, but I couldn't do it that way with the horses. They wouldn't have any of it. They literally would kick out. They taught me to see it clearly within myself as to how I needed to deliver that energy. And that same concept, that same principle is coming forward for you. You can learn through reflection, again, that labradorite, through reflection on your outer world, through being in settings, classes, whatever it is, whatever interests you. Again, this is what you believe in. It's what you're passionate about. It's what matters to you. But you must make it your own. You must. Because those old systems, those old ways of thinking, whatever it is, it's the uniqueness is what's being called forward. And at this time of the changing of the age, from the Piscean age where there was a kind of singular vision where Jesus was kind of the poster boy for the Piscean age, this is the Aquarian age. There is no one to look to. This is a time when the masters are walking the earth, every one of us, at the time of a change of an age for the next 2100 years. You don't send rookies to do this work. That's why this knowledge is being called up from within you, and you have to bring forward your unique vision. The best way you can do that is to look at what's currently existing and try it out. Do a little digging in the sand. See how it feels to you. You'll know when you're looking and reflecting from within, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like the way I want to do this. I can't do astrology like other astrologers. It feels all off, and my readings are horrible when I do it that way. And they don't resonate with people. I have to do it my way. So that's what's being called forward for you. Okay? Lots to reflect on there. The second card is from the Magdalene Oracle. And this is Gaia. Alright, so this is about earth energy. This is about our sense of groundedness here. And when we think about the earth element, this is about you, your daily routines, your ability to make money, your ability to perfect and become a fine craftsman. Earth energy really loves that, being productive. But finding your craftsmanship and standing strong in it, because within this, the trees are part of this artwork, but you see the reflection. There's the reflection into water at the bottom there. That's the way that I take this as a reader. And so the important thing is you hone and you perfect. You test, you perfect. You test, you perfect. It's sort of that scientific method that I'm feeling. And again, remember, this reading is about you're an original. I don't want you to be like the Sheryl Crow song. There's 100 more just like you. The time for that is done. So this is about, in terms of earth energy, being really diligent at going after, again, what are you passionate about? What is beautiful in your life, in your view? And what do you believe in? What do you believe in? And reflecting on that. And as you hone that, and that could be in the way you communicate, in the topics you communicate on. You're not asking for anybody's permission here. That's a message for everyone in this reading. You're not asking permission, you're creating your own rules. But with this card, with Gaia, there's a very grounded sense that I get about it. It feels very meticulous, and it feels very one foot in front of the other very solidly, because I'm seeing like a man with very big feet, with really sturdy boots, walking through kind of an uneven landscape, making a lot of noise in the process as he walks. Very heavy-footed, solid steps, but they're forward. It's moving forward. And your crystal that came forward is my piece of moonstone. And this, it's just interesting because the first card had labradorite and you have moonstone. And those were two of the crystals that I did a Fun Friday crystal reading for on Facebook. Interesting to see them come through again for this reading. This is also like labradorite from my water team. So it's again pointing you to your intuition as your guide. An original cannot take cues from out here, from the world, from what is currently occurring. An original doesn't practice that way. An original tries out their way that is grown from within. And according to Gaia here, the Mother Earth, Earth energy, taking solid steps forward and gathering data. It's very meticulous. It's honoring of the fact that we're here to be among other people and to do things among other people. It's honoring of that. That's the data that you're gathering. So you put out there whatever it is that Venus is calling you towards. And then you continue to hone. This piece of moonstone is about following that intuition. And I know this little piece as lucidia. It's about having a lucid awareness. It's about knowing every step you're taking, which they're very solid steps. They're slow and they're deliberate. but it's very uneven ground that I'm seeing. This is brand new territory for you, but you're capable. Again, I'm being pointed back to the trees in this card. The trees in this backyard endure some horrific weather, particularly during the winter. It is very snowy here, can be very icy, big wind. I've seen them bend and to and fro, and wind come through that just totally empties the tree of all of its leaves. But they're here, and they remain. They don't leave. They don't crack in half. They're here. I've watched them. In the 15 years we've been on this property, we cleared this land. It's an unknown. That weather that's going to come through. Very unsteady ground. There might be some icy patches. There might be deep snow. You might go in and go to your knee. I can feel Venus here saying it doesn't matter. You have to go towards what you believe in, towards what you are passionate about. And the thing with Moonstone is, it's that reflector, just like in this card, how the trees are reflected in the water being your intuition, the water being that wisdom within you. As you take your steps, you gather data, and then you adjust. That's what makes you an original. But for you, I feel like the key is in the diligence, and the seed of this idea or topic or whatever it is could have to do with money. It could have to do with daily work, the ability to make money from that work, and kind of daily routine. Even, it's just as invigorating to be an original in terms of your routine every day. That is just as original as if we were talking about, money-related subjects, what you do for work, or really important relationships in your life. Even small, seemingly small things can make a big difference in then knowing, being teed up to work with this energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius coming up in November. I really can't stress this enough. We're just getting clear. That's all it is. Okay. The third card is from the Flower Therapy deck. Oh my gosh. I didn't look at these cards ahead of time. Well, you get a double whammy, because remember, the core message is you're an original. And here you go. Be the true you. Couldn't be more straightforward, right? The Warata. Interesting. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Show the world who you really are and what you were born to do. And man, does this come from the very roots of who you are, because we got this red energy. That's about leadership. That comes right from your root chakra. This is about pure survival. I mean, I'm really drawn to that. As I was saying, Warata, there's sort of this, I feel it's a birth of a new warrior. Because I think the warrior archetype is getting redefined. This idea of battling indicates and implicates energy that immediately puts another, and that can be anything from a person to a disease to, a feeling or a thought. When you say you're going to go at war on something, or get your inner warrior on about something, whatever the other is that you're being a warrior against, always the word against is implied, that puts that energy on the defensive. So you are in for war because you're calling for the war. And I feel like the warrior archetype is really getting redefined. Just like how I said in the intro, Chiron has come into a new day. Out of the wounded healer, it is the empowered healer. It's not looking at the pain, it's looking at the empowerment that comes from the rub, that comes from the contrast, that comes from the supposed struggle. That's a really sort of disempowered way to say that, though, and I feel that with the warrior too. There's something here around, because the red energy makes me think about it too. When we look at red, there are implications for that color that have to do with emergency, that have to do with devastation, that have to do with stopping all progress. There is also a redefined way to look at the color red as being foundational and original, that is just as, if not more important, as we shift into this age of Aquarius where we are now. I feel we're fully here. Again, this is a 2100 year cycle of an age in a zodiac sense. So I feel that you're getting back to an origin that is ready to be redefined, and it is going to translate into your experience. So redefining, needing to go up against or to prove something, it's sort of that warrior spirit, like I'm so invested in this that I have to go to war to make sure that my way takes hold and is maintained and isn't lost. Do you see that feeling of that energy there? It comes from a lack mentality when we think about warrior. I'm afraid I'm going to lose this, so I have to go to war and I have to prove that this deserves to remain and continue. So I understand that energy, but I really feel it's being redefined into a place of non-emergency or lack or stopping of progress, but instead look at this like a new fire that is being built within you. There are white tips on this flower, which indicates to me that sort of white hot kind of energy, which is the purest form of fire. And it is a drive forward in order to create progress, not looking back at this is the way this has always been and I have to maintain the sanctity of this, but rather it's a becoming. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Sometimes things have to burn down. I continue to say, and I've been through it and will always be going through it, I suppose. Some of the luckiest people on this planet are dealing with serious disease and in some cases end of life. You get really clear when there is that level of definition, because all the chatter and all the chaos seems to disappear and you hone in on what really matters to you. You see the beauty of this life quite easily. And that's sort of this white hot fire energy I feel for you, is getting clear on what really matters to you and blowing all the rest of it away. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, everything burns us down. And then I have seen story after story, not only in the patient stories that I've worked on at my corporate work, but also with many of the clients that I've had for my business. And it wasn't my work, it was their work. I've seen so many stories of people going through such, I would even say, sort of horrific circumstances. And oh my gosh, to see them now, they have recreated their lives. They are totally different people in the best of ways. The phoenix rising. But it's not a rising. Do you feel the difference? This is what I feel is important for you to know, that this Venus retrograde is calling you towards. This isn't about fighting to keep things the same. It's about letting go and allowing what has always been within you to come forward. And that brings change, and that brings loss in a lot of ways, because people or circumstances or jobs or even money can tend to flow away in those moments. But you know what? You come down to your originality, your origin. And that's more important in the end than all of the rest of it, which has been blanketed upon you. And this is the energy, the refreshment that Scorpio brings. It gets down to the truth of it. It gets down to your deepest integrity. And it's where the most important things come forward, and they count. They matter to you. And you just let the rest burn away. But this is white hot burn away, like not anger. This isn't anger red. This is rebirth red. This is like when we get a fresh cut. Damn, it can hurt to get like a paper cut. Oh. But that fresh blood, and then the process of the natural healing that just simply occurs. We don't even have to do anything. The body just takes care of it. And the spirit of you, what I call your wild within, does the same thing. You're coming to a new day. It's not about being a warrior anymore. It's about burning so hot that just anything that can't withstand that shine within you simply drops away. There's no war about it. It's a becoming of who you really are. And before I forget, your crystal is the ever-powerful obsidian that I call Raven. This is about deepest truth within you. This is pure feminine energy, so it's directly tied into the intuitive. And that's where Scorpio is at. This piece has the strongest scorpionic feel of all my crystals. And this is in my fire team. So it ties right in with everything I've been talking about. This is about the deepest, it's like truth serum. It gets to the truth of the matter, and it just allows you to just embrace it and to know this is my best self. And it just burns away everything else. It's a bit like looking, the raven energy is when you look at the raven, you could look from one perspective and see sort of flat black feathers, like whatever. Then you look from a different perspective, and with your light reflected upon that bird, which is what spirit is, you see those beautiful cobalt blue and that sort of iridescent purple color come forward. But it takes your light, it takes your iridescence to see deeper. And I feel like that's what's being called for. It's really a resetting on the deepest levels of you. There's no more fighting. You drop your gun and you pick up your own internal fire, which is passion, which is integrity, which is living what you truly care about and not needing to defend it, just simply living it. You don't need to convince everybody else. You need to convince yourself. That's it. There we go, everybody. I feel like I've ranted on long enough. And very strong energy, as you can see from the reading. So let's use it wisely. Venus is saying, enough. Step forward. All right. I will plan to see you next week. Bye-bye for now.